know the end. So, in the movie, you see Hachi walking to the train station. It's dark and it's cold, and the snow is falling all around him. He arrives at the station and sits down outside. Hachiko looks old and tired. He's at the end of his life now. As he watches the last passenger leave the station, he lays his head down on the floor, and his eyes slowly shut. As Hachiko lies there dying, he sees his whole life flash before his eyes. He then hears his owner, played by Richard Gere, call out to him. Hachi looks up and finally sees his owner walking out of the station doors. Hachi runs and jumps up, and they both embrace, and then a bright light, and we see Hachi has passed away in front of the station in the snow. Now, it was really hard not to cry at the scene, and that is how I like to think it really ended for Hachiko. I like to think that when Hachiko passed away on the streets of Japan, that his spirit got up and walked back over to the train station, and as it approached the train station, I like to think that the spirit of Ueno walked out of the exit, and eventually, after long lasts, Hachiko and Ueno were reunited, and finally they could start the walk back home. So, there you have it. That is the story of Hachiko, and it is one of my favourite stories. I'm a dog person myself. I've got a little dog here next to me now as I record. She's being nice and quiet. But like I said, I'm a dog person, and that story always gets me every time I read it. It's a heartwarming story, and I thought we could use something a little heartwarming with the state of the world at the moment. So that's why I covered that story today. And I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Now, before I go, I want to invite you guys over to my Instagram page. I'm very active on there at the moment. I've not completely given up with Facebook, but I'm very active on Instagram at the moment. I'm finding it really enjoyable. It's the platform I enjoy the most at the moment, and that is where I'm most actively available on Instagram. And we're doing a lot of things on there at the moment. It's not just for the podcast. I'm actually trying to post a lot of positivity over on the Bizarre Podcast Instagram page. It's a place where we can have a laugh, we can have a joke, we can get to know each other. I've actually made quite a lot of friends over on Instagram, and I really want you guys to come over as well. If you listen to the show, if you enjoy the show, come and join the Bizarre Podcast page and, just come and see what I get up to on a day-to-day, get updates about the podcast, ask questions about the podcast, put your 2 cents in about the podcast. If you want to recommend some episodes, that's the place to do it. And I never thought I said this, but I've also made some great friends over on Instagram. You guys know who you are, you know what I'm talking about, but I'm greedy and I want more. So come on over to Instagram, and just come and join in with us. Oh, and another reason why I would like to see you over at Instagram is because in the near future I'm going to start asking questions to my listeners to get them more involved in episodes. For instance, if I do an episode on sleep paralysis, I would like to ask if anybody has suffered from sleep paralysis and if they'd like to tell me their story that I can share on the podcast. I might ask, has anyone ever seen a UFO? And then you can respond to me on Instagram and I can share your story on the podcast. Things like that. Yeah, I'm just after a little bit more interaction with you guys and the show. The Instagram handle is @BizarrePodcast. It could not be any simpler than that. Just type that in and look for our logo, click follow, and away you go. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and as always, I'll love you and leave you, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, have a great week, take care, bye bye.